Hello, everyone, and welcome to another fun audio video episode here on Pretty Privilege. I'm your host, Tena Mone, and today I'm going to be talking about why I have no social media, TV, microwave, dishwasher, and nudes on my phone. Nothing, nada, zip, none of that. But before we get started, I would like to thank the universe for sponsoring this video and creating a happy place for me here on earth to create, enjoy, and to flourish as a content creator. And if not for you, I would not be here. So thank you, universe. Thank you. Let's get into today's video. Okay, so let's start off with why I have no social media. I have no social media because I used to be addicted to it and currently have no usage for any platforms aside from YouTube to put my energy into. You know, social media has been such a roller coaster for me since I was a young adult. And I remember when MySpace came out, and this was when I was in middle school. It was everything, you guys. I would love creating a different backdrop for my page, and it made me feel like a certified baddie. You couldn't tell me anything. And then when I went into high school, Facebook became really popular. I don't know exactly when Facebook was created, but I do remember Tom, who was everyone's first friend. And honestly, I would just spend hours staying up late, socializing, being nosy, getting in and out of drama on Facebook till I was a senior in high school. A year later, during my mom's funeral, I told a family member of mine to please do not post any photos of her on Facebook. In our culture, that's common to take pictures of the one who is deceased and to send them to other family members who couldn't make it to the service. But tell me why, like the next morning after my mom's service, I woke up and seen photos, and not just one, but multiple photos of her in her coffin on Facebook. I can't even explain to you guys how much of a roller coaster that was for me at the time. And it then made me automatically delete both my Facebook and my mom's. Fast forward a few years later, around summer of 2021, I deleted my Snapchat because I had just gotten done getting out of a terrible, I would not even call it a relationship. It's more of things happen with me and this guy. But yeah, that's what happened. But I was postpartum. I was in the transition of moving from one apartment to another. And I was so caught and fed up with life that I knew social media was not where I wanted to put my energy into. But I then came to this whole epiphany with social media. I believe social media has so many benefits in bringing people and communities together. And I know it was created to benefit all of us. I mean, look at YouTube, right? But just in my case scenario, I lack the respect for social media, meaning if social media were a person, all I was doing to social media was abusing, not caring for, comparing my life to others, and vice versa, and being negligent towards social media itself. Does that make sense? I definitely was not using social media for a positive place to help others, let alone to help myself or to spread kindness or anything business related. And instead, I was gossiping. I was being a whore. I was being a slut. And I was wasting valuable time on social media. That's what I was about, years ago. And making the decision to go cold turkey was a really big move for me. I don't regret doing. And I also believe it can be an addiction to some people, With me, it was. And the most triggering moment was at my mom's funeral service. And, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love and I admire and I'm so grateful for social media when used for positivity and growth for one's own business. But I don't love it when people use it for exposure towards someone's life, for bullying, or using it to spread lies and negativity towards someone or something. And it's not the keyboard, but the person behind it that makes the difference. And I'm going to use the same example, but what happened at my mom's service, it wasn't social media that took the pictures of her, but someone else who then abused the power and platform of social media to instantly spread pictures that were supposed to be initially private. And I feel like this whole concept serves as an extension as to why I don't read tabloids or gossip columns or watch ET News or TMZ or stuff like that. I used to, but I don't now. And just like social media, I went cold turkey. I I mean, we're all human, and just because you see what's going on at the surface with someone doesn't mean you know that whole story, and doesn't mean you know that person 100%. Therefore, I choose to just stay out and away from anyone else's world 100%, and I put that focus and energy just back into my own home. YouTube for me is the only, and I mean only, quote unquote, social media platform I currently have, and I'm fine with that because it's my own personal decision to not want to exchange any type of communication with others. I'm not there in that mental state to want to have to do that, and I mean, I don't feel the obligation to do so. My comments are off for a reason, and I believe my engagement comes from being able to talk about different topics, and you guys, the subscribers, the listeners, decipher how or what you feel about it. I don't always want to communicate back and forth, and that's just not me in simple terms. But how you feel and what you think, that's great, since we're all entitled to our own opinions and judgments, but respectfully, that has nothing to do with me, and therefore, I won't allow it to affect me. Hence the reason why, like I said, I turn off comments and I just choose not to engage. Good or bad, I just choose not to. I don't have any social media, and social media being Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, or X, MySpace, no dating apps, no Instagram. I don't know what else there is. I'm trying to think, but I don't know. But you won't find me on any of those platforms. And yes, YouTube could be considered a social media platform, but at the same time, no, because I believe that there are less amenities in comparison to Facebook or X or Instagram. I mean, that's just my opinion. And honestly, I had to press restart and heal my own personal trauma and need for exterior validation that I extracted from those on social media to then rebrand myself and my channel as a whole. I'm not on any other platforms of social media because, quite frankly, I have no reason to be, and I don't care. Will I ever create an Instagram or a Facebook account again or make a TikTok? I've thought about it, but since I've made it this far without them, probably not. I'm not going to say, never ever, but for now, I love the fact that I can say I've been Facebook free since 2013 and Snapchat free since 2021. Also, one more thing I wanted to add is just because someone does not have a social media account doesn't make them a private person. People have assumed a lot of times, and they've asked me, but just because I'm not on social media, I don't know, I've been called like names because of that. I don't consider myself to be a private person, but my philosophy are my day ones, and we all have them. Some people do, maybe, some people don't. But day ones are people who we can truly rely on with our life, or if in the event an emergency happens, we can rely on them with our finances, our everything. But my day ones know how to get in contact with me and me with them, and it's not through social media. We have each other's phone number, like it's on that intimate level. And our connection is deeper than any friend or follower. And I believe quality over quantity is most important to me. This is my only networking platform, and even, I say networking even though I don't necessarily network currently, and I'm fine with it, But those are my reasons and thoughts about social media and why I'm not on certain social media platforms. Next is why I have no TV. Okay, so I have been TV free for 2 years now. In the summer of 2023, I had a TV I would watch probably like 3 to 4 times a week. And after going back to school, I began spending so much time on my computer, and it became unbearable. Even while taking in person classes, because I was on campus, all our assignments were online, like the class syllabus, the rules, regulations. Like, I always had to go back and like refer and like look at my syllabus and whatnot for assignments. And even discussion boards were all online. And it still is to this day, which is annoying because I'm a paper and pencil type of female. I'm not opposed to technology, at all. But it's become such a crutch. It can be annoying at times. Okay, so computer usage was at an all-time high, right? And still is. And so the reason why I watched TV was to watch movies or cartoons after having a long day. However, going from one screen to another, it really began to make me feel agitated and more like wired and activated, like in my brain. When you just sit and watch, you're on the screen for so long, you just become, I don't know, I feel like you just become numb to the outside world, and it gives you this weird feeling. From my computer for homework to the television was more screen time than needed. And like I said, it became too much. And one day I went cold turkey on my television. I had it dismounted and I took it to a dumpster area behind a 99-cent store. I just left it there. This is a true story. I'm not making anything up. I was so fed up with this additional screen taking up space in my home. I just wanted it out. And my daughter would close to never watch television anyways, only for like 5 to 10 minutes, would she show interest. And after that, I noticed her wanting to play rather than sit and watch TV. So it wasn't hard for me to get rid of it. And it's one less bill anyways, right? This past year, I did subscribe to Disney Plus from January of this year, but canceled it 2 weeks ago, like mid-May, since we rarely watch cartoon shows on our computer. I mean, there's so much more to life than TV or, in our case scenario, a computer. And aside from that, we've replaced all of our like screen or television, computer time with getting outdoors, with park dates, with coloring, puzzles, reading, and math activities. And I even got us a cat. So, I mean, there's definitely life after television. And we still visit the cinema whenever a good movie comes out. But it feels nice, even though we have no TV in our home. And where our TV once was, since I had it dismounted, I replaced it with this nice aura of like flowers. So there's like some yellow flowers and like some pink flowers over there, which is really beautiful. And I feel like, once we come into our home, just not seeing a TV, it makes it feel nice. Like it just opens up the energy for like our home, and it feels really pretty. So that's the reason why I have no TV. The next one would be a 2-in-1 as to why I have no microwave and no dishwasher. The former tenant living in home had a microwave, but due to the size and space in the kitchen, it was seated on a chair like outside of the kitchen area, and she had to use an extension cord to power it. So when I brought my place, I was skeptical to use her method to heat up food because, I mean, a lot of us, we use microwaves, right? And I wasn't trying to heat up food the old-fashioned way via stovetop. But lo and behold, I began to do it the old-fashioned way and started using my stovetop for a few months. It wasn't really I wasn't really feeling that. So I went ahead and I purchased a toaster oven, which I assumed would be smaller than a microwave, but it's about the same size as a microwave. But then I rarely use it because after all that, I felt heating up my food the old-fashioned way tasted a little bit more better than like microwave that I used to like use in the past and toaster oven combined. So currently all heating of food is being done via stovetop. and I'm fine with that. I know for a fact I'm not gonna get a microwave anytime soon. And as far as dishwashers go, I've never seen or realized the relevancy of using one. I've used it before, but I find more gratification in actually hand washing step by step my cutlery and plates and, bowls and whatnot. And I know more water is saved when you use dishwashers, but depending on your amount and size of items to wash and how often you wash your items, or if you soak them pre-washing, which is what I do sometimes, it makes more sense to just hand wash in my case scenario. Hence the reason why I have no dishwasher. And also because when I was renovating my home, I wanted it removed for additional kitchen space. Its whole aesthetic, and where it was, the dishwasher, it wasn't giving newness, it wasn't giving cleanliness, and it wasn't giving the Tenemone aura, so I had to let it go. Last but not least, let's talk about why I have no nudes on my phone or my computer. This is kind of funny, but the honest truth in a nutshell is I'm really lazy and I don't care to have any. In my early 20s, I worked as a stripper, and I was so caught up in that lifestyle in Los Angeles, and I was such a bad, terrible, naughty girl. You guys, I was sending nudes and all these naughty, explicit videos to customers and random guys and guys I just met even outside of the club. And I feel like I got all of that out of my system. I was just for the streets, and all of that is and was previous chapters in my life that I can't even believe at times I was a part of. But it's a part of my past. It is what it is, But like I said, I was for the streets in the worst way possible. And also being 31 now, and especially after becoming a mom, I just feel like my life and where I'm at right now is mommy mode. Not saying, parents are excluded from being freaks and having nudes or naughty videos on their devices, because, if both parties consent to sexual activities, whoever you may be with one another, and healthy boundaries are enabled, then, go for it, right? There's nothing wrong with having nudes or, of yourself or videos of you, on your devices, to a certain extent and for certain reasons. But I feel like with me and in my case scenario, I just don't have any right now. There's no reason for any to be on my phone or on any of my devices, and I'm not in the mindset and energy of needing to take any. And you know what, trust me, I know what my ass looks like from every angle. I like to call it a sexy small apple. And I know what my titties look like with and without filters and in all positions. And I'm aware of how and, what my lower abdomen looks like with my mommy stretch marks. And, I don't know. I just feel like nudes wouldn't really do anything for me. Hence the reason why I have none. And, I think the last time I took an actual nude photo of myself was to check somewhere on my back area that I was trying to wax. And it was really funny, the whole position, the angle, and the photo itself. Oh my gosh, it was deleted right away. So those are my reasons as to why I have no nudes. And the last one being is when my daughter gets a hold of our phone. I like to call it our phone in front of us, but she likes to listen to the Disney Pandora music station. And I don't know, I've thought about it before. I'm like, oh my goodness, what if one day she ever just opened up the photos and started scrolling and seen a naked picture of me? Oh my goodness, you guys, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't even know how I would feel like. But we don't need that going on right now, And I know that there are apps that you can hide and make private, or you can lock in order for you to get into, but that's a lot of work for me. And especially since I'm not even interested in taking nudes, so those would be useless in my case scenario. And those are the reasons as to why I simply don't have any. With my phone, I specifically use it only for to text message certain family members, to call or make appointments, and or to use my hotspot if in the event my computer's Wi-Fi sometimes acts up, or simply just email. on my Gmail account. That's really the only reason why I'm ever on my phone. And yeah, and I'm fine with all of that. Well, all right, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed another audio video here on Pretty Privilege. Once again, I'm Tinamane, and thank you for listening to my video on why I have no social media, no TV, no microwave, no dishwasher, and no nudes on my phone. Thank you once again, and you all take care.